Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wargaming.net League North America World of Tanks. Tonight, the group drawing for Season 1. We'll determine who of the qualified teams will be matched up against the 8 invited teams in our 16-league format beginning July 11th. I am Joshua Clutch Gray. Joining me on the set is Greetorp, birth name Andre Hengshua.
Andre Lee Hengshua.
That's right. That's right. You have a middle name?
It's Lee.
Lee, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Most
awesome.
people have middle names, Clutch.
I know. I have four names total.
4 names?
Yeah, I have 2 middle names.
Okay.
Owen and Paul.
So, I don't understand why you're giving me stuff about me having a middle name.
I'm not. I just never knew. I never heard it. Now
Clutch.
Everybody knows that Greetorp has a middle name. Joining me on the set as well is Dan the Man Frodan. Joe, do you have a middle name, Dan?
I do.
What is it?
It's Josh.
Awesome. That's a great middle name. And also joining us on the set is Randall Rookhill Holcomb. Do you have a middle name, Randall?
My middle name is Hill. So actually, we have something in common. You've got Lee, and I've got Hill. We've got Civil War generals there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my middle name was not named after a Civil War general, though. Yours, on the other hand?
It probably was.
Most likely was.
I'm really excited you guys are here to join me to talk about the different teams that have made it through the qualifiers and also the 8 invited teams that made it via the tournament that Wargaming hosted back in the spring. This was the Major League Championship Series Spring 2013 event. And those 8 teams we're going to talk about first. We're going to take a commercial break. After that, we're going to draw the first 4 teams to determine who's going to be in Group A. There'll be 2 different groups, Group A and Group B. You can think of it as 2 different conferences. And within those groups, they will face off for 3 weeks, and it will culminate all in the finals August 17th and 18th in Las Vegas. First off, gentlemen, the #1 seeded team is Fulcrum Gaming. Can these guys be beat? They seem to be winning every single tournament they enter in.
They can be beat because they were beat by Simp in the what is the NVIDIA tournament that is still ongoing. So they were beat by Simp. It was a few weeks ago now. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So they do bleed.
They do bleed.
They do bleed.
Their lead is not so much that they cannot be defeated. They're still very much one of the top teams, though.
Well, being on the top as well, you have a big bullseye on your back. You have a lot of teams kind of watching your strategies, watching your gameplay. We've seen that in many different games, many different esports type games. We've seen that in StarCraft. You have the top players and you learn their different builds. And I believe we're going to see a lot of that in the league itself. We're going to see a lot of people gunning for Fulcrum. And just as Captain Blood said from River of Blood, one of the qualified teams, this is anybody's game. These qualified teams can definitely go toe-to-toe with these other teams as well.
I'm looking for the perfect reference right now to tell you how I feel Fulcrum Gaming is. And I'm going to say, have you ever seen The Mighty Ducks?
Of course.
Of course.
Who hasn't?
Okay. If you didn't see The Mighty Ducks, you must watch it. And I'm so sorry you had no childhood. But when it comes down to it, The Mighty Ducks, they're Team Simp. That's how I feel. And their rivals, I think it's the Hawks if I'm trying to look this up. But it's the Hawks.
Who's Cody Banks?
They're
Cody Banks.
we'll get there.
That's why you got to live in the right districts, guys. All right.
Okay,
Cody
the
Banks.
Hawks, though, the Hawks are Fulcrum. And I'm not saying they're evil, they're bad, or anything.
They sell a
but
lot more money.
They're the big favorites,
Yeah.
right? And then Simp is the Mighty Ducks, always reminding Fulcrum that, hey, we're good. We're not necessarily as consistent, but we can throw wrenches in there, and all of a sudden you see this flying V coming at you. Oh, what is that? I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
but it's still the Mighty Ducks coming at you to win.
I really look forward to seeing any type of matches of Fulcrum versus Simp, be it in this league or in any type of tournaments.
The reason why I say that is because I was actually talking to Randall a lot about this, and Simp always comes up with these kind of crazy things. They're able to not play so robotically, which I think Fulcrum Gaming is accused of more than often. Just because of how prepared they always are, how they know the exact spots, and that leads to being kind of predictable.
And there's actually 3 teams representing the entire clan of Simp. Now, in World of Tanks, you have clans that have a lot of different people, but in the esports side, there's only 7 members that participate on your team actively within the battles, or 10 total for the team roster. But we actually have 3 teams, Simp, Simple Tankers, and Simplistic, that come from the Simp clan. Yeah. And we're going to see some more variation maybe in that. I mean, we have people from Red Sky that are represented with EC, Mop 4, and Havoc, I think, have some sort of affiliation or
different teams.
They're different teams, of course.
And also then you've got Nerve has affiliation with G, Gorillas, which is another big premier clan for World of Tanks, North America.
All right, let's talk about the second team that's going to be in Group A. That's going to be Turtle Police. Now, they actually made it the seed number 4 from the tournament itself. Rookil, what can you tell us about Turtle Police?
Yeah, they're just a solid team. They're just one of those other teams. I wasn't incredibly impressed by anything. They didn't do anything that made me go, wow. But they certainly showed that they're capable enough.
They're
I mean,
consistent.
they got in.
Yeah,
they got in. So most of the teams that got in, some of them I don't know well enough to say this is their absolute play style. This is what we're going to see out of them and predict them. Other teams, I'm a little bit better and more prepared to talk about those. But
well, they placed top 4, so they've been doing well for themselves. Joining them in Group A is going to be Pub Stars, and they were actually the 5th ranked team from the Major League Championship Series. Pub Stars, I believe, is having some changes with their team roster right now, so we're going to get that finalized roster to you folks as soon as that is finalized with us. But this is another team that I look forward to seeing more and more of, because I've just heard some tales about them, but not a lot of physical games themselves in online leagues.
Yeah, no, I agree. I haven't heard a lot about them, and obviously, if you are changing up your team quite a bit, it's going to be hard to get that chemistry against, the number 1 seeded team. I'm going to bring it back to Fulcrum. You know who's on that team. You know who's going to be playing Artie. You know who's going to be hating on the players that play Artie. It's the same people we always talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But another advantage they have to that, though, is that they can be a complete wild card for this tournament. People know the different play styles or different type of engagements or roles that these teams have moving into this tournament. But with them changing up their team roster, they are a wild card.
Wild cards are double-edged swords, though. If you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philly, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, well, the final team joining them for Group A of the invited teams is going to be Simple Tankers, and they actually placed 8th. They were the final in the top 8 from the tournament from Wargaming. Now, this is a team, again, part of Team Simp. They have a great pool of people to scrimmage against. Rookil, you have some experience with them. So how can we differentiate Simple Tankers from Simp and Simplistic?
Well, they're all in the same clan, and they have switched up players before. People from different Simp teams have traded around. So actually trying to separate them can be a little difficult, especially if they're not in a position. Before the season, they were always switching around. So trying to figure that out was always chaos. Now, hopefully these teams can get a little bit more reputation for themselves, get more solid. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I want to take it off subject real quick.
Okay.
Can we just say for a moment right now how amazing it is to have Simp in our I guess, tournament? And not only that, we can say they are the absolute best team in America. Like,
Simp?
The consistency. I'm not saying, like, they have the best team, but, like, overall, they're producing some of the best players all around. And if you're fielding 4 different teams, think of just the logistics that has to go through with that. That's at least 28 people.
Yeah, they're the best represented team in this
Correct.
clan.
I mean, we can say overall they are, like, the most outstanding, well-performed, highest average team players. Something like that.
But do you...
Dan, save me. Save me, Dan.
What I think Andre's trying to say is I think it's really... You can see that Fulcrum is extremely top-heavy, right? The players are extremely good. Relics, Friction, Hugo, Maximus, Soviet. You can keep going down the Fulcrum list. But I look at Simp and I see how well they've grown their community. Not only have they provided great players and teams, they've also produced great commentators. We have Rookil on the set. And I think that also takes another kind of skill that's really necessary to grow in the World Tank scene. A lot of teams like Simple Tankers, Simplistic, sure, they might not get all the money like Fulcrum does, and with them winning South by Southwest as well as a lot of other American tournaments like the 15th anniversary tournament. Sure, they don't win those teams or those tournaments, but these teams are still really powerful in their own right, and I can't wait to see how they're going to continue to develop because a lot of them are new. Yep. I think that's what Andre's trying to get at.
Thanks, Dan.
Makes sense on both fronts.
Bro.
All right, let's talk about Group B. Now, qualifying or invited, however, here is Simp. I mean, this is a big Simp conversation already. We're going to continue down the line here. They placed second in the second seed from that tournament, so they will be in Group B. And joining them is going to be Mop 4. Now, Mop 4 is a team that I've seen some engagements with, some different tournaments with. They are an impressive team. I think they still have something to prove, though. Yeah. What would you say, Rookil?
Yeah, well, right now they're actually going to have roster changes, so we're waiting on those. And that's going to be a huge change, I think, knowing the people that have left Mop 4, and we're going to see replacements, if I'm remembering correctly, Mop 4 being the ones with the replacements. So I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to perform because they lost Barroom and they lost, I think it was Plated Mega. So with those two gone, you could see a big shift. you could see them tank if they can't really keep it together, because they lost 2 big guys, and Ballroom's kind of a real a fulcrum around which these teams kind of around which that team kind of puts itself.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, so I was searching for the word. Unfortunately, the word I was looking for is a team name.
So, it's good on fulcrum.
Keystone, how about that?
Oh, that's so much better.
Okay.
That's so much better. Thank you.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. We've got each other today.
We all help out each other.
Word association is part of the game when you are a caster. All right, let's talk about Strike White May. This is a team that's made up of Chinese Canadian students. And so they have that, I don't want to say obstacle, but it is a challenge of being a student and committed to a full-time league, because you obviously want to focus on your studies, but you want a piece of that $100,000 prize pool.
The work ethic.
That's true.
I know it's going to be there.
That's true.
I just feel it's in my gut right now. I feel like the work ethic, it's going to be there.
Well, all these teams have fantastic work ethics.
Don't underestimate the amount of time they will put into a tournament like this.
I don't. When you think about Fulcrum and you think about Strike White May, you think how many of them can dedicate fully to World of Tanks, how many of them still have day jobs, or with any teams, day jobs or students. And a lot of these teams, I'm sure, that are qualified as well. A lot of them are students.
Yeah, and just because like they're sacrificing so much, I know like a little bit of the culture, especially Malaysian culture, Chinese culture a little bit. I know that as my parents came over to come to America and study in college, they were very, very focused, and they were also focused on the other things. They wanted as much experience in everything that they did. And I'm not necessarily saying that all Asians are the same or all Chinese are the same or whatever it might be, but it's definitely a cultural thing. When you come over here from Asia, you're more than likely very, very passionate about just learning, experiencing, and I feel like these players will go into it and just put in the time and effort that not many people in the world have. This is 16 teams that we have in all of North America. They have such a huge opportunity. They're going to make the best of it.
I'm completely convinced that they will, and they've made the best of it so far by being one of the invited teams and participating in World of Tanks tournaments and matches. So I look forward to seeing them perform very, very well here at the WGLNA. The final team we're going to talk about is Wreak Havoc. This is a team that I actually know the least amount. So Rukul, I'm going to need your help on this.
Yeah, and I will help you out. I know some of the Wreak Havoc guys really well. I used to be in Havoc a long time ago. I was one of the upper tier officers. There was a triumvirate of officers for a while at the top of Havoc, and we started getting into competitive play. There was a little fallout, so I left then, and we didn't really get into a big competitive match. But that team, that clan, has a lot of potential to produce really quality players that are going to be very well disciplined. I know when I left a team of at least 30 people who were all incredibly well disciplined when it came to fighting together. And so a lot of those players are here, and they've improved so much. There are players in Wreak Havoc, like you're going to have to pull up the roster, and I want to see more names because I'm forgetting one or two right now. But there are people in there that I know have improved so much since when I left there, and they've been consistently performing in tournaments, and they've gotten so good. They can really bring it, and they could take it. I really think they could go first place if they really did.
So you left them. Obviously, they're very capable.
Yeah.
But what kind of capable are they? Capable offensively, defensively, coming up with strategies, coming up with tactics. So, like, what can we expect from these guys?
So we have Sarge on Wreak Havoc, right? Sarge is someone I know incredibly well. He's a Canadian, and he's a cool guy.
Are you sure he can lead as well as an American, though?
Oh, he can do it. If he doesn't fall asleep at his computer, Sarge. Don't fall asleep at your computer, dude. He still does it, apparently. So he's solid, and there are other members of the team with other talents and strategies that they've all come up with. I know everyone in there is smart enough to do something, and I think we could see some really nice dynamic strats, aggressive and defensive, and also incredibly conventional at the same time. And we're going to see conventional stuff that's going to be strong.
All right. Well, speaking of America, this is for all of America. So as we have said earlier, we have Canadian teams. We have American United States teams. We have teams that are from the South America region, Chile and Argentina. But as we can see on the screen right now, those are the groups, Group A and Group B. And we're going to draw the teams for Group A first to determine who's going to be joining Fulcrum Gaming, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, and Simple Takers. After that, we'll know the rest of the teams for Group B. We'll actually draw them out to have their actual position based on the schedule of who's going to be up against who. And that will determine who's going to be in Season 1 for WGLNA. But before we go, because we love to spread freedom around the world, it's time to talk about the July 4th promotion that Wargaming is doing. This is huge. 5 times experience for first win of the day in each vehicle, ×3 crew XP in all Tier 10 vehicles, ×2 crew XP in all Tier 9 vehicles, 100% increased credit income for all non-premium Tier 5 and Tier 6 vehicles. But wait, there's more. 50% credit discount for equipment, 50% gold and credit discount for crew training and retraining, 50% gold and credit discount for crew skill reset, 50% gold discount for the following premium vehicles: T2 Light Tank, M22 Locust, I'll be buying that, Ram 2 and the T14, 15% gold discount for the following premium vehicle, the T34. Also, missions, Metal Hut Top Gun, 2,000 bonus XP awarded each time you obtain the Top Gun achievement. The repeatable mission, First Class, deal the most damage on your team, earn 20% more bonus XP and 30% more bonus credits. And the daily mission, once per day, Potluck Picnic. Destroy 1 tank of each nation and in each one of each nation specifically for consumables that you can use for your crews. That's a lot happening this weekend. I'm really looking forward to playing some tanks.
All I can say is I'm proud to be in America, where at least I know I'm free.
We're going to take a quick commercial break as Andre finishes the song. We'll be right back for the group drawing. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wargaming.net League North America World of Tanks group drawing for Season 1. We get to find out who's going to be in Group A and who's going to be in Group B, who's going to be up against who. In league play beginning July 11th, we've also announced the grand finals will be happening in Las Vegas at Treasure Island. Make sure to definitely check out more information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLNA. It's going to be a fantastic time. That might be actually my first time in Las Vegas, so I'm super pumped. I know, I haven't been there yet. I haven't. I'm planning a trip this month. It's for business, though. But if not, this will be my first trip to Vegas. And what better way to celebrate it than to play World of Tanks, man? It's going to be awesome.
I'm so disappointed in you. You just told me that you're going to Las Vegas for business this month. Just a hint. Normally, you go to Las Vegas, not for business.
I know, but I have to eat food, and it takes money to do that. All right, enough about my travels to Las Vegas. It's time for the group drawing. We've actually put the different names of the different teams in a secret location. I don't even know where it's at, but my friend Rukil does. So, Rukil, can you go ahead and help us out?
Yes, I will. So, I'm going to reveal this location now.
Oh. Well, it's in your hat, of course.
Yeah, but we can never see him without the hat, though. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, you keep this in your hat?
Yeah, all the time.
All right.
That's weird.
Cool. Okay. So, scrambled up, shuffled up. Here we go. The first team for Group A is River of Blood. They'll be the ones joining Fulcrum Gaming, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, and Simple Tankers. So congratulations to them. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this team for a little bit because they are actually one of my favorites when it came to the qualifiers. This team did a fantastic job during the qualifiers themselves. They only actually dropped 1 map, and Captain Blood had some great words to say when we had an interview with him. Your guys' thoughts real quick before we jump into the highlight reel of River of Blood, Rukil?
Nah, good to go.
No? Good to go?
Good to go. Good to go.
I look forward to them performing very well. Andre?
I was shuffling.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the highlight reel of River of Blood here, guys. 3-0 against Trust Monkeys, against Nerve and Chimera Armored Division, 3-1 against Team Black Label, and 3-0 against Fates Chosen. This game was the deciding factor for River of Blood to qualify for Season 1. With 3 WZ-132s, 2 T-69s, and 2 Tier 1 Cunninghams, River of Blood charged against Fates Chosen on Prokhorivka. The AMX 1390s were decimated by River Blood's aggression. Using teamwork to surround their opponents and lining up their shots, Captain Blood even goes for a ram. The quick, aggressive mentality of River of Blood will be a sight to see during the league, and you can catch the action starting July 11th. I look forward to seeing them perform very well. So congratulations to River of Blood. You are in Group A. And now, Greetorp, if you'll do the honors of go ahead and pick another team.
Okay, here we go. It is.
The Oscar goes to.
Can you read that?
Refuse to Die. Refuse to Die is joining Group A.
Okay, so Refuse to Die, we saw them not only in the first qualifier, but the second qualifier. They actually ended up losing to Ermagerd Kernavern in the first one, and then, of course, second time around, they were able to take out Cap Fast Nation for, of course, advancing over to the tournament. Yeah, just the tournament. One thing I want to be critical about Refuse to Die is definitely going to be the fact that they lost to Ermagerd Kernavern. It was in decisive fashion, 3-0. Refuse to Die, though, still saw a very different style of play going into the second qualifiers. They've shown, yes, they have skill, but they're also a little bit shaky. They're going to be a dark horse, and I think we're going to look out for them. But most people are going to say, you know, whenever they go up against Fulcrum, against Simp, they will be a pretty big underdog. Randall?
Perfect. That's it. Brilliant.
Guys,
My thoughts exactly,
All right.
sir.
I'm done for the day.
All right, I'll see you
Good
later.
night.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, ready for? I actually have a quick little highlight reel of this
Yeah,
team.
let's check them out.
Let's go
Let's
ahead
check 'em
and
out.
take a look. Gets Cap Fast Nation, who did live up to their name in a lot of different skirmishes.
Yes, and keep in mind, when they were up against Cap Fast Nation, we did see some, you know, critical, I guess, I wouldn't say problems, but critical decision-making things that led to a very, very close series. Now, I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be in the league because they've definitely shown, hey, they are top 16 NA. I would say that's undisputed. But for them to break that top, that very, very top echelon of play, which, of course, you're not in it to go fourth or third. You want to get first place. It's going to be very difficult. But I don't want to take away. You always, always can change the result of everything with good training and a plan. And that's what they need to have. They need to have a plan whenever they go into this. They've shown they, you know, throughout the qualifiers that they have came up with plans. But the problem with going in 2 qualifiers is that you give more stats to your opponents. You show more things. You show more, I guess, builds or openings, lines. And that's a big problem because a team like Simp, like Fulcrum, will take advantage of that.
They definitely will, and all these teams are going to take advantage of any type of weaknesses they can find throughout the broadcast, and that's what makes league play so important for these teams to watch and to study, and also be creative themselves to come up with new tactics and strategies. I want to emphasize that each draw is important because it's not just the group that they're in, it's also scheduling, because each of these number placements determine what your schedule is going to be throughout the league. So as I said before, we're going to draw for Group A, and then we're going to draw for Group B after we take a commercial break.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and draw one more. Frodan, I will let you do the honors.
Oh, thank you so kindly, Mr. Clutch. Mr. Joshua Clutch. Team number 3 is Scurry Hard.
Scurry Hard. We
That's
actually
right.
got to talk to one of the members of Scurry Hard at E3.
Did you? Was it Squirrel?
Ruka, was it Squirlin? I don't remember.
At E3,
No, it wasn't Squirlin. I forget.
No, we talked to
forget
Tofu Smurf at E3, we talked to Fedge at E3, and we talked to Mac at
Okay,
E3.
it was Tofu Smurf then.
Yeah.
That's right, because I had to remember that name when I was like, hey, everybody, I'm here with Tofu Smurf.
Yeah, he's watching right now.
He is. I've
Yeah.
seen him in chat. Thanks
Hi,
for
Tofu.
watching, man. So congratulations to them. They will be joining Group A. That is Scurry Hard, and they performed very, very well.
That's right. Scurry Hard, they had a really good job going through the qualifier. They actually hadn't dropped a single map the entire time. Looking at their history, they beat Cartel, Edge of Chance, Sons of Dissension, Gorillas, and then still Refusing to Die, which was a sister team, I believe, of Refuse to Die. You can see just how they played pretty solid throughout the whole thing. Not a lot of mistakes. A lot of the games they won pretty cleanly. It wasn't like a close down to one tank versus one tank. It was a lot of good positioning overall. You can even see on this map on Ruinberg just the way they coordinate their attacks. Very well done. Scurry Hard, of course, their roster is headed by Squirlin, who we did have an interview with, along with players like Blasi, Son of Hale, Dodama, who's also been bouncing around other rosters as well whenever he enters clan tournaments. Kaneka, Relax, Squirrel Tag, all these other guys did really good throughout the qualifiers. Not dropping a single map, I think, is really impressive. Don't you think, Clutch?
I think it's very, very impressive to not drop a single map at all, especially with the amount of talent we saw, not just through one qualifier, but for both of them. And this is a team that performed very well, similar to other teams, and I think that they have a great team dynamic and great team chemistry. We'll definitely look forward to their play. All right, let's go ahead and draw the final one for Group A. Wait, I'm going to shuffle it up. little bit more here.
Good
Make it
call.
a little bit fair.
That way
Make sure I don't drop it
You
on
got
the
to
ground.
shuffle it every single time.
Yeah.
true random sample.
Yeah. Okay. It is going to be Cazadores. They will be the final team that is joining Group A. Now this, not just because I speak a little bit of Spanish, but also because of their amazing gameplay. I'm so impressed by this team. They were an upset against EC. A lot of people were thinking EC is going to definitely take qualifier 1. It didn't happen because of Cazadores. Let's go ahead and go to the highlight reel for this team. So we talk how their journey was getting into the league itself via the qualifiers. So they went up 3-0 against Grupo Tactico 1 BOP, 3-0 against Turma de Monica, 3-1 against Sexy Satellite Missiles, and 3-2 against Purple Rain. Cazadores faced a tough opponent, Purple Rain, but gained the upper hand. Now some say EC was favored to win the series, but Cazadores had some tricks up their sleeves. It wasn't for them, really, in Game 1 on Prokhorovka, as EC picked apart their tanks on the open battlefield. Even the C1 Cunningham getting some damage himself, able to dish it out. But however, the match was tied 2-2. The winner will be placed in the league. Himmelsdorf was the map, 30 minutes at the minute mark. G-Line Cazadores in red. Logos holds as long as he can in his IS-3 as his AMX 5100 teammates clean up the remaining tanks. After destroying what's left in that quadrant on the side of EC, they decide to go on the hunt for the remaining EC tanks and capture their place in WGLNA Season 1. It was a great series. I was incredibly impressed by the map for mines where they use the Bison. I'm going to be talking about that throughout the entire season, and I look forward to interviewing them more and staying on top of my Spanish.
You know, Cazadores, they also play in the Major League Championship Series as well. And, you know, I believe they placed 11th, which isn't too far away from the top 8, but they were still in there, and they've beaten some teams. They even beat more goals than Cunningham's, which we'll talk about a little bit. But they have been competing for a long time, and a lot of people have been saying that this is a team that's been around for a while, and it's about time that they have some results behind them.
It's about time indeed, and they are going to be full of results, I feel, during this league play. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back, we're going to determine who's going to be in Group B. But before we do that, let's go ahead and go over it one more time. In Group A, Fulcrum Gaming, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, and Simple Tankers, River of Blood, Refuse to Die, Scurry Hard, and Cazadores.
Clutch, I do want to mention just the dynamic play of Cazadores lined up with everybody else. Actually, go back to that. You're going to look down that list and say, wow, I have a lot of conventional teams that I'm playing against, you know. I'm not playing against, you know, anything crazy. Ermagerd Kernavern is probably the #1 team that I'm thinking of that's super aggressive. Anybody at super, well, River of Blood.
River of Blood is
gotta
pretty
mention
aggressive.
River of Blood.
Yeah, they are a very aggressive
they're
team.
they're going to be another team that's definitely going to be very, very different, very unconventional. And what this tells me with the Cazadores and the River of Blood, I'm going to be looking forward to all of their matches against everybody else. Because think, if I'm Fulcrum Gaming, the range in which I have to play against is really, really crazy, right? I have to play River of Blood, Cazadores, and then a lot of different conventional styles. But if I'm someone like Cazadores, I basically have to just prepare for conventional styles, and that's it. Okay, River of Blood can be aggressive. I can even drop that map and go, or not that map, but that series, go 6-1 and be first place. That's perfect.
Yeah, and that's the dynamic that we're going to see in these different groups that are selected. We come back, we're going to find out. Well, we already know pretty much who's in Group B, but how it's going to determine the schedule for the league via the drawings. Don't go anywhere. WGLNA will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WGLNA as we determine who will be placed scheduling-wise for Group B. So far for Group A, we have Fulcrum Gaming, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, Simple Tankers, River of Blood, Refuse to Die, Scurry Hard, and Cazadores. Now, as a recap again for Group B, already determined is Simp, Mop 4, Strike White, May, and Wreak Havoc. But before we do that, though, I want to remind everybody about World of Warplanes. Open Beta has been released. Have you played it yet?
I have not.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I've been really busy.
I know.
I've been traveling. MLG, of course, that kind of stuff. Actually, we all have, yeah.
Yeah, we've all been busy. Rookil, you got to go to your first MLG. What'd you think?
It was pretty cool, pretty cool. I mean, I only got to meet a whole bunch of famous internet people and shake their hands, not know who some of them were because they were in esports that I'm not familiar with. And then that wasn't awkward, walking up to...
Because they should know you.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was like I sat down next to
Naniwa,
and I was like, "What's up?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, that was the dude." Okay,
Oh yeah,
play it cool.
that dude.
Yeah.
That was
As I got into a fight with him.
yeah, exactly. You two were in a heated argument. I'm just like, you guys
We
talked
started
about
fist fighting. You're like,
Yeah.
she's good guy.
It was
Did
like,
you
I'll
think
just
an
be cool.
audience could exist that was that big for those
Oh.
different games?
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think
Do
the
you
World of Tanks
think
audience, if when
It
we have
most
our
certainly
show,
will be in Treasure Island.
oh yeah.
Mid-August. Oh my goodness, Clutch! How dare you ask that question?
Well, just for his expectations,
I
we all
mean-
expect to have a great crowd at the finals August 17th and 18th in
Mhm.
Las Vegas at Treasure Island.
Right.
What better way to celebrate right before going back to school or taking a weekend off from work, going to Las Vegas with some friends?
Exactly.
Yeah, that and World of Tanks players are at least 25% more attractive than all other esports fans.
I will say this: on average,
yes.
World of Tanks people are a lot less socially
Awkward, inept, gracious.
Okay, let's go with those words.
Okay.
No, they're really pleasant, generally
They
speaking.
are.
They are.
The communities, in general, it feels a lot older. They have a lot more experience, especially since they've been military men, so they're disciplined. It's very different from a lot of the other gamer communities. And it's not to knock on them. It's just that those guys are really young. They're 13 to 18-year-old kids that are playing a lot of free-to-play games or even some fun games on Xbox. But in this case, I really enjoy participating in the World of Tanks community because a lot of them are mature and they're really talented at the same time.
Yeah, and a lot of them, when they have a grievance, they voice it pretty PR-wise, I would say, for the most part. But they are pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and pick who's going to be in Group B. As it was like I was trying to cast magic or something, already picked it. It's going to be Simplistic.
Wait, you have to wait.
To what?
Josh, is this your first rodeo?
No.
I was doing the drum roll, and then it's...
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll do
Right
it
at
next
the
time.
end.
Okay.
All right, so it is Simplistic. They will be taking the 10th slot, joining Simp Mump for Strike White May and Wreak Havoc.
That's right. Simplistic is another team that joined the qualifiers a little bit later, guys. They only participated in the second one. If I do believe, they actually got their team together quite hastily. Am I right? Like they got the
I
team
seem to remember
members.
something about that.
And what ended up happening because of that, we saw a lot of different strategies. The range I was seeing, when I mean that, I mean like the style of play was very, very different. Sometimes we saw them be very aggressive. Sometimes we saw them just camp out in a parking lot and just wait there the whole time. And what that tells me is wild card. Wild card, baby.
Yep.
And we all know wild cards, they can be great. They can be great. But sometimes it'll come to bite you in the butt. I'm still looking to see how they end up doing, but here we have them with Fates Chosen. Just to let you guys know, they took out Purple Rain and Fates Chosen. Now, obviously, Purple Rain, they were deep contenders, both qualifiers. They did not make it, but they were giving teams a run for their money.
Yeah.
So the fact that Simplistic obviously able to take out these two teams, they have a lot of skill in them. Overall, my personal opinions, I feel like they don't do anything wrong, right? Their theory is very correct. Their execution is very clean. But nothing so far has jumped out like, yes, I want to back this horse right away. I think they are much better than the average bear. And I would say possibly top 8 for them if I'm going to rank everybody. But still, time will tell for how they really do.
Right on. Now, to get the facts straight, is River of Blood considered part of the Simp clan?
No.
They are not.
No.
Okay.
River of Blood's pretty much their own guys. River of Blood's always been their own guys with Captain Blood leading the way. They're always his guys. Not really. You don't really attach them to a clan. They're just there.
They're there.
They're there.
They're there. All right.
But what do you think about Simplistic right now, Rukil? Because you're going to be a little bit more versed than me, of course,
Yeah.
being in the scene for so long.
They're another Simp team. So
Yeah.
what generally happens is when I was in main Simp, we'd fight the other Simp teams, and we are generally above their level just because of experience and all that stuff.
Sure.
I'm not sure how well they're going to be able to adjust and bring it up there. But I'm really hoping that we see them do that because they have that potential and they have the resources to do that. So what has to happen is they're another one of those teams that they've got so much potential to do this because they have the players and they have the skill. They just need to get used to each other and really figure out their own way.
A quick question, though. You mentioned resources. Would you think perhaps that the resources are going to be stretched thin for Simp because they have multiple teams in the league? Do you think they're going to suffer because of that at all?
No, I don't think so. From what I know of what the teams are doing right now, most teams are practicing against each other. Simp is practicing with other teams. Other teams are practicing in and amongst each other. They're getting ready for this, and they're gearing up, and they're playing against each other regularly, so they will be somewhat familiar with each other, most of the teams, and they're getting ready, so the level of play should be going up.
That's why I really love all of Sim's teams. They're just clean players. And what I mean by that is they know what they're doing. They're not going to do anything really, really stupid. But when it comes down to it, I feel that what separates, I would say, the absolute best teams, let's say the main team for Simp against the, I guess, B teams or maybe even C teams, is going to be mostly the strategy and how you prepare for things. And I feel like that comes down from the top all the way to the bottom. The lower teams will kind of see exactly what the top teams are doing, but it's always going to be reactive. You need to kind of make your own path if you want to be that top tier player, top tier team. And it's just going to be up to Simplistic. I'm kind of just going into game theory or
you are, but
theory more than anything
the balance of being proactive and reactive at the same time.
Yeah.
You want to come to a match with proactive type strategies, but you also want to be reactive to what doesn't work or what utterly defeats you or what defeated your other teams.
And I feel like now I'm taken away from Simplistic and what they're doing. I'm back and forth, guys. Sorry. Because I don't mean to say that they're not creative by themselves or they can't handle the actual tournament play. But what I am saying is that there's clearly a limited amount of super high talent, and that's going to be committed to the absolute best team that Simp wants to produce. And then, of course, you're going to have residual. And I hate to say it, like, these two teams that we're going to be talking about are sort of our residual Simp team. And the main Simp team is going to take the best talent, and of course the best talent are most likely to get the best strategies, are most likely to put the time in to, I guess, find the best tactics.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pick the next team. Greetorp will let you do the honors. All right.
Olé!
Nerve will be taking the 11th slot for Group B, as they'll be joining Simplistic.
Nerve is the G team represented here. Well, the big G team, I'd say, represented here. They've really shown some nice skill. I like what they're showing us. They're very coordinated, and their players are so technically skilled. And if you guys don't know, and other people don't know, they're from the Clan G, which performs incredibly well on the Clan Wars map, which is the end game for World of Tanks. You go to Clan Wars when you're done, and these guys coming from that clan have really shown that experience and brought it back to Tier 8s. You can see right here when they fought Warriors of Honor, they got into the perfect positions, got a good crossfire going, and just took them apart. And then right here against one of the hardest turtle positions in the game, they took Warriors of Honor and they just turned them into turtle soup. So it was a really good show on their part. So I think Nerve could be one of those really good teams that will execute some strats with this kind of precision. That's what I think I'm going to see out of them. Just this kind of precision and nice aggressive tactics, strong heavy play. And then on top of that, they have Red Paradise, who is a great scout player. And he has like 3K battles in Attack 2 and almost like 2,500 in a 1390. Wow. He's incredibly experienced.
Okay, I'm going to be critical with them.
Okay.
I'm going to say right now that we are not able to accurately assess their skill level. And I felt their bracket was super easy.
Yeah, you may be right about that. They had probably one of the easier brackets this time around than the other teams did.
I just felt like, we did show Warriors of Honor. And I don't want to take away anything. And maybe I'm not even experienced enough to really give this full assessment. But when I see a low out there, that now I know how to deal with lows. I know
we saw 2 lows out there.
Yeah, Warriors
not just one low.
But when I
we saw 2 lows.
When I see stuff like that, what it tells me is, okay, this team may not be this team has the possibility of not being fully professional. Right? If I see 7
fully
Hellcat,
prepared,
fully prepared, at that competitive level, right? If I see 7 Hellcats out there, they could be a top team just trolling.
No.
Right, Ferdinand?
No. No?
Okay, go ahead.
There's been a team that's been successful with putting Hellcats out in the Golden League as far as I
7
know.
Hellcats.
Yeah. It's happened before. Now,
I'm not saying
a team like Red Graw has failed with it, but I think other top teams have tried it, and you know what? It might be one of those. It might be that one strategy that you're thrown in.
So you're telling me that Nerve is going to be the first team that we're going to see all Tog 2s?
Well, no.
Okay.
That's definitely Simp main because Mac G
he promised.
He promised it.
He's going to do it.
But what I'm trying to say, going back to Nerve, is that we haven't been able to accurately assess their skill. They went up against Warriors of Honor for their last and final, I guess, qualifying match. And I didn't feel like they really showed me impressive play or even professional play. And that's why I want to be critical on Nerve. Yes, we're going to give them really good stuff. Yes, we're going to tell them your execution was great. When it comes down to it, if I give you 7 minutes to prepare, position your tanks wherever you want, of course you're going to just trounce a position really, really easily. If all tanks go to the island and just sit there, yes, of course I'm going to get the perfect positions. I'm not saying that they didn't do it quickly enough. I'm not saying that like they're not good by any means, because obviously they are. But I don't want to just say, Nerve, you guys are definitely top 16 without a doubt. They haven't proven that to me, and it's still open. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, they do deserve to be in here, but I haven't seen because of their competition.
Yeah, well, bracket luck aside, they still deserve to be here, and I look forward to them stepping up to the challenge against these other 15 teams. And we're going to find out if they are qualified to be here. They technically are. They went through the qualifiers. I think that having some different type play, maybe not with lows, maybe with something that is completely different from what we've seen, work against different strategies of the different teams that they have. And they're going to have those strategies up against Simp, Mop 4, Strike White May, Wreak Havoc, and Simplistic, along with the 2 other teams that we're going to choose. Looking forward to it. And let's find out which one of those teams is going to be. Greetorp.
Okay.
Use that magic. Here we go.
Ole.
Cunninghams.
Who are they?
Formerly known as Morgolds.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Morgolds, of course, they had a recent name change. They did qualify, though, as Morgolds.
Yep. Now they're the Cunninghams. Yep, so.
Dan, tell us about the Cunninghams.
They did play in the Major League Championship Series, but they did pretty terribly there. They went 3-9. But in the qualifiers, is a different story. They went through they went through the qualifiers dropping 2 maps. I'm looking through their history right now. They played Mojo Tanks, Goons Ruin Everything, Gentleman's Gaming, and then they played Game Over, who was also in the Major League Championship Series. I mean, these guys have a lot of experience playing in front or playing for high stakes, and so you can definitely count on them to be able to show up. One thing that's really interesting is that this team, they're a little bit young. We look at A. Martin, for example. He's still a student. We got to interview him, talk about his team dynamic. These people are still a little bit inexperienced, I feel like, in terms of being able to be on high-pressure situations, just solely because you don't know how they respond, because they're kind of young. But, of course, I could be completely wrong. They could be superstars. Anything could happen. I do want to also give shout-out to some of the other team members on the team, like Taka, Silent Demise, Militant, Caster, Starwind. The list can go on. I don't want to forget names, but I will have to for now. But I do want to say that people should watch it for the Cunninghams, because just like in regular Cunninghams, or just like in the regular game, Cunninghams can still do damage no matter what.
All right, thank you for that, Dan. All right, gentlemen.
Oh, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Cunninghams is actually 2 words. Did you know that?
No.
Yes.
I thought it was 1.
It is not. It's 2 words, or at least that's how they portray it. They have cunning pigs.
I see. All right.
That is the Cunninghams.
We'll check with our graphic team to make sure that we get that split.
I'm positive about it, guys.
All
I'm
right.
positive. It's their what is that?
Calling
their emblem?
card, emblem,
whatever.
their name.
It's a Cunningham. And they're a bunch of cunning pigs.
Okay, time for the last team. I'm going to go ahead and guess it. Give me a drum roll, please.
Ole!
Ermagerd Kernevern. EC will be joining Group B. They'll be facing off against the rest of their invited teammates as well as qualified. Simp, Mop 4, Strike White Mate, Wreak Havoc, Simplistic, Nerve, and Cunninghams. EC, this is a team to watch for sure.
Yes, I think they're one of my favorite teams. Mostly probably because I have experience playing with all of them, and many of these players have actually made it to the famous Ural Steel tournament not once, but twice. So a number of players on this team have made it to that, and they've brought in a few new people. They've got Trouble 2 Kemsey, and Whiskey Dodd will be joining them. He wasn't there for the Earl Steel team, but he's a regular member of Red Sky. This team excites me because I know these players, I know how smart they are, and I know what they're capable of. So it's just, I'm excited for them.
All I hear is blah, blah, blah. I'm a biased caster.
Oh, totally biased. No, I'm going to have to say that right now. I'm so biased because I know these guys best of all of anyone I've ever played in a tournament with, even the Simp guys. These are the people that I know the best, and when I played with them, I felt so confident.
Sounds like
that
Ruka wants a spot on Ermagerd.
Hey.
Trouble 2's a nice guy. We did an interview with him.
This
Tommy
is
Cannon's
insurance,
listening.
okay? In case
No,
his casting crew doesn't. No, just messing with you.
Yeah, I got you.
We're all messing with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
It's all good. Yeah, no, Trouble 2 actually came to the studios. We had a nice dinner with him. We had some Pazookies. It was a really nice time, and I learned he's actually a very intelligent player along with that handsomeness that he's got.
What did I tell you?
him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually part of the Armored Corps for the U.S. Army.
How is this
awesome.
fair? It's not fair, Clutch.
I know. He's a good guy. And you guys will be able to see one of the player profiles we have with him during the league play, because we want the player's story to get out. That's part of our job, is to tell the story of the players and teams here, and we're really excited about that. So let's go ahead and show one more time who the two groups are. Group A, Fulcrum Gaming, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, Simple Tankers, River of Blood, Refuse to Die, Scurry Hard, and Cazadores. For Group B, Simp, Mop 4, Strike White May, and Wreak Havoc, Simplistic, Nerve, Cunninghams, and Ermagerd Kernavern, or EC for short. Huge congratulations to these teams. We have our 16 that will be playing in the league starting July 11th. We actually know who's going to be playing on the first broadcast, starting at 6 o'clock p.m., July 11th, which is a Thursday, I believe. And that is going to be Fulcrum Gaming versus Turtle Police, Pub Stars versus Simple Tankers, River of Blood versus Refuse to Die, Scurry Hard versus Cazadores, and Simp versus Mop 4. That's right, 5 matches in one night, best of 5s. It is going to be a huge, huge beginning to the league.
Clutch, I think some people might be wondering, does everybody get to play in every team in their own conference/division/group?
I believe that everyone plays each other in their own conference.
Just one time.
Just one time, I believe.
It is round robin, best of 5 for all of them. And we're going to be releasing the rules out to you guys so that you know exactly how things work. We actually changed up the draw system. Not sure if it's released just yet, but you guys are going to see that things will move along a lot nicer without penalizing any of the players. That's what we're looking to do. Maintain the competitive nature of World of Tanks, but still keep draws in mind, saying, you know, we don't want super passive play all the time.
It's part of the game.
It is part of the game. We accept it, we realize it, and we're going to move forward from it.
That's right. Rookil, what are your thoughts about the two groups?
I like them. I'm sad, though, that we don't get to see, what is it, River Blood versus Ermagerd Kernavern. So those were two teams I wanted to see just, like, rush
We could see them in the finals.
We're going to see them in the finals.
We could see them.
Yeah, assuming both make it. That's just the thing. So I wanted to see it during, league play so we could see how that worked out. But we're going to have to wait until they make it farther to do that.
That's right. They're going to have to perform very well. There it is again, ladies and gentlemen. We have our groups, Group A and Group B. And we'll be starting July 11th with some amazing gameplay of these top 16 teams in America. We're going to go ahead and wind down now, but we want to remind you, again, happy Independence Day tomorrow for everyone that's a citizen of the United States of America or anyone that wants to celebrate around the world. I tell them that they can definitely take a day off of work. Why not? Tell your boss, hey, it's Independence Day.
It's Independence. Today, I celebrate my Independence Day.
That's right. Dan, why don't you break down again what's happening for the promotions this weekend from Wargaming?
Yeah, thank you, Clutch. There's going to be lots of cool promotions going on with people who want to play a lot of tanks. For example, the primary one that I'm excited for is ×5 experience for the first win of the day, because I'm unlocking, I think, my 4th or 5th tier 8, so I really need that EXP as fast as I can. But, of course, you get 100% increased credit income when you're playing up to those tier 8, so you can get yourself up there. Remember, it's non-premium tier 5 and tier 6, as well as some crew experience for those top-tier vehicles as well, so you can get yourself up ready for those clan wars. There's also some other missions that are going around on the July 4th to 8th as well. For example, if you can do the daily mission, the Potluck Picnic, if you destroy one vehicle of every country across any number of battles, you get a consumable package, which has nice little treats and all different kinds of things. I also forgot that on the screen they're talking about credit discounts on certain tanks and equipment. You can find all this information, of course, at worldoftanks.com. There's a lot to kind of take in at one point, but again, just play your best. That's what it comes down to. Don't be an idiot. Don't die. Don't suicide scout, or scout, as some people should say it. And don't be that heavy tanker that sits right by the flag and not do anything.
I got to guard the arties, bro. I got to guard the arties.
Play really well, and just if you optimize your performance, and if you do, you'll get rewarded pretty heavily, in my opinion.
That's right. More information also about the World of Tanks 360 for the Xbox. World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition is the official name for it. You can get more information about that at worldoftanks.com/Xbox. That does it for the drawing show of Season 1. Want to thank our sponsors, Kingston HyperX, Alienware, Logitech, and Azo monitors. Also, Azo is now available on Amazon.com, so make sure to check out the different models they have for sale on there. This has been a fantastic weekend, and this will be a fantastic weekend for July 4th. It's going to be a fantastic league starting July 11th. So looking forward to it. Greetorp.
It's the calm before the storm right now.
It's the calm before the storm. That's right.
What we got. We can sit back tomorrow, pop a couple beverages, get some barbecue going, and then that's where things just stop completely. And July 5th, that's when all these teams are training. They're going to be a little bit secretive. We're not going to know their strats. Then boom! July 11th. That's where many a feces will hit the fan.
It's going to be a great time, and we have a great crew to bring all the action live to you. So on behalf of Rookhill, Greetorp, Frodan, I am Joshua Clutchgrave. Thanks so much for watching, and best of luck to all the teams. We will see you July 11th at 6 o'clock Pacific time right here at twitch.tv/WGLNA. Until that time, make sure to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, Facebook.com/WGLNA, and also check out the VODs, YouTube.com/WGLNA. We'll see you guys July 11th. Good night and good game.